All right, and welcome here to ProspectsNation TV. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by J.L. Hemingway. The mission stays the same, exposure for all the teams and players involved, though we've changed locales. We're in Tennessee for the real deal in the Ville. Hemi, we got all Ohio versus Florida Flight right out of the gate. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Marcus, it's just such a blessing to be here on site. Very excited about the real deal in the Ville. We've got our shootout game here today on the broadcast, SUVtv. All Ohio Black, coached by J.B. Bethea and Florida Flight. This is going to be a high-octane matchup. Looking forward to the action.
As we're about ready to tip it off. You got Ohio, you got the Buckeye State versus the Sunshine State here, and we're already underway. It's going to be Florida Flight with the ball first. Florida Flight in the spiffy gray jerseys. That shot's off the mark. Rebound by Hooks. Hooks going to bring it the other way. It's going to go through the hands. There, number 3 for all Ohio, Jelaya Moses.
Marcus, if we're going to set up this game right here, I think this is going to be a story about guard play. You've already seen number 11, Anastasia Titer, and also Ashley Rodriguez is also out there on the floor. All Ohio has some very talented guards as well too, but they're underclassmen. You talk about their point guard of a Hart, and you mentioned number 4 Hooks as well too. How well will all Ohio's guard play be able to handle the pressure of the Florida Flight? Will it be, experience versus youth, or will those young guards grow up here today for all Ohio?
Fun matchup to watch. A lot of pieces on both teams. Sierra Rice going to miss that second free throw. 3 attempts there to score for all Ohio. Unable to come away with the points though. Here comes Florida Flight the other way. Tyler does a good job to save it. 3-pointer is no good. 2 for $1 sale on the trifecta though. That one's in and out. Both teams getting a few offensive rebounds as they both try to get going here on the offensive end, Hemi.
Yeah, kind of surprising because all Ohio does have a lot of height inside. As you see that block shot there by number 23 in red. That's Valencia Myers, young kid, 2018. Lots of size in there by all Ohio, but Florida Flight doing a good job of hustling to the ball. You'll see some full court pressure here. As I mentioned before, this is going to be a very high-octane game. Plenty of talent here on the floor for both teams.
Coach going to have that ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with all Ohio. Coach with it. Looking inside. Step through. No good on the shot, but earning your trip to the free throw line there is going to be number 30. Kayla McIntyre.
Yeah, good high-low game right there. Got the side ball screen action over there on the wing for all Ohio. They kicked it out to the high post, got the high-low feed, and then got the dive by McIntyre. Good footwork there to draw the foul. And I think if Florida Flight may have more experience on the perimeter, all Ohio may have the advantage on the interior. So it'll be interesting to see kind of the contrast of styles and play right here. But let's certainly not overlook the guard play of Sierra Rice, number 22 there in red. One of the big reasons why you see a packed back line. Everybody's out to see her this morning.
As we see the all-Ohio Black defense cranking it up there, forcing the turnover. Sierra Hooks to inbound the ball. We touched on it with Sierra Rice and what all she does for this team. We're able to see her activity early on, but her and Hooks are formed to create a nice 1-2 punch for Coach J.B. Bethea here in July. But right here on the Florida Flight side of things, number 5, Jalen Harrison with the bucket.
Harrison there with a nice floater. She's a kid that's been on our radar for a couple of years now. These Florida Flight kids have really grown up, and as you can see right here, causing all Ohio some trouble with their defensive activity.
try to bring it back out top to set it up. Here's Harrison with it, guarded by Hooks. Sit over to Tyler. Tyler with the pass inside, working with the jump hook, but unable to score it is Bailey Wolf. It'll come back over to All Ohio. Here's Rice with it. They sit over to Hooks. McIntyre wants it inside. Instead, they'll go back up top.
Good patience here by All Ohio. You could see that they're very interior oriented. They got it across. They were looking inside, couldn't get anything. Then reset the offense, get it into a horns action. Again, looking high-low. Florida Flight doing a great job of helping in on the post, but right on cue. Good skip pass there to Rice, and she knocks it down for the three-point bucket.
Rice three-pointer makes it a 7-2 ball game in favor of All Ohio here in the first half. We'll keep you abreast of the score as time goes on. Meanwhile, you've got Tyler answering back with a three of her own.
Stasia Tyler, 2015 kid out of Orlando. Talented player here. You see her run the point, see her attack the glass, and now hit the open jumper, but coming back the other direction. We've got a charge call.
Stepping in there and taking it is Jalen Harrison. That's another one of those plays I'm glad I could just watch it as opposed to having to call it. Very bang-bang play. I wasn't sure which side it would be called on.
Yeah, the Florida Flight, we talk about the guard play of Tyler. Mentioned Ashley Rodriguez, Jalen Harrison stepping in there, number 15 as well, Chelsea Johnson. Lots of quickness right here. So, again, as I was talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, is this going to be a game of guard play? Is this going to be a game of interior play? And I think the Florida Flight are going to want to try to speed this game up and really disrupt All Ohio. Whereas All Ohio may want to, play a little bit more grinded out ball, at least in the half-court offensive set.
7-5 ball game here. Tyler with the spin move and the shot. No good. Rebound by McIntyre. They're going to look to push a little bit. That pass intended for Cobb, but right there is Tyler getting a hand on that. Neither team being a slouch on defense here early on, Amy.
Great activity, great anticipation by Florida Flight. They really do a good job of making up for their size by that anticipation and such. And speaking of activity, there's Sierra Rice grabbing another rebound.
Taking the contact as well, still finishing.
What a move, Marcus. She gets in there, takes the bump, and hits a left-handed floater. Are you kidding me?
And she's getting it done, picking up right where she left off from the PSB summer kickoff. Sierra Rice.
All sorts of schools out here today. We've got a back line that really just surrounding the court. On either end, you see Michigan down there, LSU, Penn State, Georgia State, Maryland, Ball State, Toledo, Purdue. All of these schools here trying to get a glimpse of a couple of these prospects.
9-5 ball game. Tyler inside, no good on the first attempt. Ball's tied up. And it is going to stay with Florida Flight. Inbounding the ball for Flight, Jessica Font. Wolf kicks it out to Tyler. She's already got one three-pointer. Give her a second.
Marcus, we've watched this Florida Flight team for now a couple of years, and I'm just really impressed with how Tyler has, in many ways, excuse the pun, tightened up her game. Really tightened up those skills, become a more consistent jump shooter, as you can tell, handling the ball, and just her athleticism, too. Definitely one of the better prospects on the floor here today.
Hooks just short on that jumper. Tyler's going to try to throw it ahead. A little bit of miscommunication. Two players go for it. It's going to be off of Florida Flight back over to All Ohio. Ahart with the ball. Now gets it in the hands of Rice. Rice going to take the mid-range J just off the back of the rim. Second chance opportunity for all Ohio, a little too strong on the shot.
Interesting matchup here developing between Rice and Tyder. Both of these kids, strong, athletic guards, doing a lot for their teams. You see Tyder come up with that defensive rebound. And you see both of them are matched up here against one another. Interesting comparison between the two, Marcus.
Interesting to say the least, Hemi, and both of them being very productive for their teams so far here early on. These are the types of matchups that we get here at PSB in July. Gotta love it. Font with it up top, guarded by Ahart. It's an 8-9 ball game, 9:26 and counting left to play here in the first half. Tyder with the jumper, showing off the mid-range variety.
Well, she's really elevating her stock here on ProspectsNation TV, Marcus. Hit a couple of threes and now the pull-up. A lot to be excited about for the Florida Flight with Anastasia Tyder.
She gives the Flight their first lead of the game. It's a 10-9 ball game, 1-point advantage for the Flight. That shot no good, but getting a second chance. Still unable to connect with Moses. Here comes the Flight the other way. Three-pointer, that's a good look from the corner. It won't go. Looks like that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Bailey Wolf. So back over to All Ohio. Couple substitutions in the game for All Ohio. Going to be number 20, Michaela Cobb. In the game for the Flight, number 3, Yo-Yo Cupidan. Hope I'm getting Yo-Yo's, the pronunciation of Yo-Yo's last name right, but with a nice alias like Yo-Yo, I think I'll just roll with that and they're on the safe side.
Hey, Marcus, that's an SUVtv Hall of Fame name right there. I like it.
In the 9-ball game, 1-point advantage for the Flight as they crank the defense up, get the steal there, they get it ahead to Tyder. Tyder gets it to Font. No good on the shot. Nice box out there by Rice.
Well, there's just a lot to love about Sierra Rice, isn't there? She gets that block out on the defensive end, forces Tyder to go over the back. But what I'm really impressed with right now is the Florida Flight's defensive intensity right there. They had a matchup with Jessica Font guarding, I believe it was McIntyre in the post, but there was so much ball pressure that they couldn't take advantage of it. Florida Flight, even though undersized at a couple of different positions, they more than make up for it with their energy and their effort.
They're trying to make things hard on the offensive end for All Ohio. 10-9, 1-point advantage for the Florida Flight. 7:50 and counting left to play in the first half. Ahart, 5-second violation, giving her no room to breathe is number 23, Sadie Jennering.
And what you see here again, as we talked about at the beginning, you know, is it going to be the experienced guard play of the Florida Flight, or is it going to be the height and athleticism of All Ohio? And right now, that defensive intensity, the ball pressure by Florida Flight, really rattling the All Ohio guards.
Randy Chandler with the ball. Gets it over to Font, nearly taken away by Ahart. Ahart showing that they play defense as well. Nearly forced a 5-second violation, but Font wisely brings it out. Turning the corner, but having it stripped away. Both teams doing a great job of playing defense without fouling.
Yeah, I agree. Really moving the feet, doing a good job of communicating. You can really tell the energy and the excitement from both benches too. The excitement in this gym here is quite remarkable.
Feed inside, weight room move, and the finish.
Boy, what a great possession there by All Ohio. Florida Flight really getting after them, really moving the feet and pressuring every pass, every dribble. Unfortunately there for the Flight, they switched a couple of screens and they ended up with Font again on that post player. And because All Ohio was able to control the ball, they were able to find the mismatch, and they were able to get a post touch and a score and an opportunity for a three-point play. So I think that's moving forward. That's what we're going to have to see here. Can All Ohio continue to handle that pressure from the Florida Flight?
Caleb McIntyre makes it an 11-10 ball game, 1 point advantage for All Ohio. McIntyre leads Ahart ahead with that pass. Now Rice going to go to work. Too easy. Layup drill.
Marcus, we talked about this at the PSB summer kickoff. Sierra Rice has really made strides in her offensive game, her skill set. Big time drive right there to the left hand.
You always make a great point when we watch different broadcasts about the ability for a player to slow down the game, relatively speaking. You know, with all of the, the pace changes and the different things that can go on there, players that have the poise to be able to slow down the game and make plays. And Rice just seems to be moving in slow motion, though she's so quick out there on the court with the way she's playing right now.
Great point, Marcus, and I'm glad that you reminded us of that. But speaking of slowing things down, Jessica Font knocking down that three on the other end. She's going to get another opportunity right here.
Font with the fall away shot. She wanted a foul call there.
That was a tough shot right there. Chris Watkins and I had a big discussion and, slash argument last night about, mid-range pull-up jumpers and everything. And I think that was an example right there of a contested jump shot, regardless if it's in the mid-range or at the arc. There's always a higher difficulty of shot. I think Font, she could do that one over again. Might have just gone ahead and reversed it instead of trying to shoot it.
Yeah. It's a 13-15 ball game, 2 point advantage for All Ohio. The jump hook along the baseline just short there for Valencia Myers. Last touch by All Ohio, back over to Florida Flight.
Man, did you see the little shoulder shake there, Marcus?
Yes, good-looking shot there. Describe the commodity that a player that has that size with those types of moves in the post can provide for some of the college coaches here on this back wall.
Hey, and I think it starts with the fact that she's just a 2018 kid. Hasn't played a day of high school basketball. You see her get a block shot there on that end. Myers, is far from being a finished product, but look at her, she's getting inside, she posts up, and what I like about it is she shows both hands when she posts up. We talk about post players showing your numbers to the basketball, and you see her right there, and she's going to draw the foul. And that's what I'm talking about. You get both feet in front of that defender and then show both hands. Too many times, post players want to put that one hand on the other defender, as to hold them back. Well, oftentimes you get an offensive foul. Show your numbers, give, your guard a target to throw to. And Myers has already got that simple ability, which really gives us a lot of hope for her progression moving forward.
Shot missed there by Ahart. Flight coming the other way. 3 minutes, 50 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. It's a 13-15 ball game, 2 point advantage for All Ohio Black. Harrison gonna try a three-pointer. It's no good, but attacking the offensive glass. Here's the Flight there, but unfortunately, Yo-Yo cannot cash in. Harrison trying to make up for it. Doesn't get the ball away cleanly, but it's a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to keep it with All Ohio.
Good call there by the official. Right on top of the play. Both players had their hands on the ball simultaneously for an extended amount of time. Call the jump ball right there.
2 point advantage for All Ohio, 15-13, 3 minutes, 19 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. Myers with the touch pass to Cobb. Cobb too strong on the shot.
There it is. There it is. Good possession there by All Ohio, and it started with the pick and roll. Myers was able to catch the pick and roll pass and then kicked it out to the shooter. Cobb obviously was not able to connect. They get a second opportunity. And what I was impressed right there, you talk about, the mid-range game. Katrina Williams gets right into that lane right there, and guess what happens? Draws the defense in and then dumps it off perfectly to Myers. Lots of IQ on this court. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's been an impressive game so far, just on both, on behalf of both teams as far as the defense they've been able to play. You mentioned him, he's just a heady game where we've seen a lot of savvy for these players, and you can just appreciate a clean pace and just brand of ball that we've been able to see from both teams here in this game.
I think you got to give credit where credit is due. Oftentimes during July, these long days and multiple games in days, sometimes the game gets sloppy, but a game like this you have to appreciate. Number of prospects, and what I'm excited about is there's a number of young prospects out here that we're going to be watching for years to come.
Yeah, we've mentioned the loaded cupboard Coach JD, but they had last year, and while it's a different look, with Kelsey Mitchell, Waterman, Westbell, those players moving on, still plenty of assets in the cupboard for Coach Bethea.
Wow. I just have to point this out. Regardless of what you say, if that's a foul or not, number 31 there in red, that's Bexley Wallace. That's a name that everybody's going to know very, very quickly. She's a 2018 prospect. As you can see, a big forward, 6'3". Right there, she just guarded Astasia Titer, dribble for dribble for multiple seconds. Now, Titer is no slouch. She, very well could be a 4-star prospect nationally, and Wallace, a freshman, guarding out of her position, out of her area, matched her step for step. Even got the contest. Now, whether or not she fouled her or not, I'm not really concerned about. The fact that she was able to move her feet right there, wow, that's all I can say.
Yeah, that was an impressive defensive stretch. Florida Flight fans, of course, they know Titer, what she can do. I'm sure others around the basketball community do, but even for those that don't know, they've seen what Titer has been able to do in this game. And right there, we saw the best defense against Titer, here that we've seen here in this game, and probably for the events thus far.
Yeah, Wallace, you can call her a power forward, even a center at times, but quite honestly, she's got small forward skills. Just going to be a very versatile prospect. And quite honestly, going to be one of the top 2018 kids that we'll talk about on ProspectsNation.com in the future.
It's a 14-17 ball game, 3-point advantage for all Ohio Black. 1 minute, 20 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. Harrison with it up top, going to try a three-pointer. That one's just short. Ball's on the deck. Jump ball called, and we'll see, believe the last one stayed with Florida Flight.
I actually wrote a Brandon Clay scouting report on Bexley Wallace after watching her at an event in Toledo this past Memorial Day. All of our subscribers, and a good up and under there by Titer. Got her with the ball fake. But in that report to our Brandon Clay scouting report family, talked about Wallace's versatility, her offensive game, her ability to pass and handle the ball. I think we can add an addendum, with her defensive ability at that.
Three-pointer on the way. Touches a couple pieces of the system, won't go in, but right there is Wolf with the offensive rebound. And ball's going to be knocked out of bounds off the hands of number 1 for all Ohio. I believe that's Katrina Williams. Williams going to have a seat.
Now, interesting what they're doing right here with Titer. Starting to post her up a little bit, trying to move her in and out of the area. And it's interesting that they're keeping Wallace on her. It's a big assignment. But they definitely feel like she can match her step for step.
Good look from the corner. Won't fall there, though, for Ashley Rodriguez. Sierra hooks with it, crosses Harrison over, gets the shot off.
And they're going to count it.
The SUVtv instant replay function isn't activated yet. They might be asking for us to review that one if it were. But as it stands, that bucket counts. It's going to be a 19-16 ball game going into halftime. We'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll bring you the second half here live from the Real Deal in the Ville. And we're about ready to get the second half underway. We're rolling, all Ohio Black with the ball. They currently have a 3-point advantage.
Yeah, Marcus, I think the story coming out of the first half is definitely defense. You know, both teams have done a great job at defending the ball, defending the passing lanes. As you can see right there, the pick and roll, the help side was there, gets the deflection. And it's going to come down to the playmakers on either side. You see Tyder right there taking it coast to coast. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Tyder that makes more plays, or is it going to be Rice that makes more plays? Because both teams are certainly defending at every position very well.
That's a question I look forward to the answer playing itself out here in this game. Sierra Rice and Tyder, two solid teams top to bottom, but those individual pieces playing as well as anyone right now here in this game. Rice has it now. We get it over to Myers. Myers going to take it deep too.
What? Marcus, you didn't tell me that she could do that in our pre-production meeting.
I didn't know she could do it, Emmy. But I'm seeing more and more of her, you know, exactly, you know, what trick she has up her sleeve over the past couple days, just being able to see her at the PSB summer kickoffs. Saw the post work and the work around the rim. Impressed by that touch right there. Didn't look like a fluke by any means. That stop and pop no good along the baseline. Tyder working hard, gets the bounce.
Love this kid. Talk about skill, energy, defense, rebounding. Tyder does it all.
Not to be outdone is Sierra Rice coming right back. How many sequences have we seen this game where you see a Rice three, Tyder comes back, knocks one down. You see a strong Tyder drive, Rice comes right back with an and one.
Exciting basketball, Marcus. I tell you, I love it. Sierra Rice has now finished 3 finishes to her left hand off the move.
Our most recent making it a 24-20 ball game in favor of All Ohio, but not for long. It is 23-24. after that bucket there by number 15, Chelsea Johnson.
You see All Ohio, sticking to their 2-2-1 press. They're going to be committed to it. But Florida Fly doing a good job getting the ball to the middle, looking diagonal, and they find the open three.
Different players, much younger, and as they continue to develop, the comparison will, might be a little bit more precise. But when you look at Myers and McIntyre in there, it really puts me in the mind of Waterman and Westbelt as far as their size and their ability to do more than just use that size around the rim.
Yeah, interesting comparison. Versatile post players, and with size. Has skill. McIntyre showing me a little bit more offensive skill here today than what we saw at the summer kickoff.
Yeah, for those that know All Ohio, it's a relative comparison just as far as them being able to do more with their size than just be, around the interior. Definitely some more development to go before we see that same ball skill that we saw from a Waterman and a Westbelt. Tyder can't get the three-pointer to go. Bailey Wolf is going to get a second opportunity. She cashes in with the kiss off the window.
Yeah, they're going to need that from Wolf. They're going to need those rebounds. They're going to need 4 or 5 more of those rebounds, and they're going to need a couple of more putbacks to keep this thing, where it wants to be, because All Ohio's starting to pound them on the glass a little bit more.
Florida Flight with the rebound. Here comes Tyler the other way. Going to kick it to Johnson. Johnson, another three-pointer.
Those are big shots. Coming down in transition, catching it in rhythm and knocking it down. 2 big threes here early on for Johnson.
It's a 28-28 ball game here. 12 minutes, 53 seconds and counting left to play here in the game. Hook swings it over to Rice. Rice catch and shoot 3.
Oh man, that was not an easy 3. She was moving. Caught it off the move, got her balance, got her feet underneath her, knocked it down.
That shot going to be last touched by Tyder, but, back to Sierra Rice. Your thoughts on how she's really been able to show her development on as far as her perimeter game is concerned. She's always been a slasher, been active. And not to say she hasn't been able to shoot in the past. We talked about the timing based on All Ohio's personnel last year versus this year and how that's opened up and put more on her plate from an offensive standpoint. But your thoughts on her perimeter game and the development in that area?
Well, I love it. She's hit multiple threes, and she's hitting threes without having to take a high volume of threes either. She's shooting a very high percentage too, being very selective in the shots that she takes. I really like her strength getting downhill to the bucket. But yeah, maybe she's had this skill, all along. But let's face it, when you play alongside of Kelsey Mitchell and Waterman and Westfeld and Michael Johnson, well, you're going to have to sacrifice some shots, here and there.
Yeah.
And hats off to her, the fact that she stepped into that lead role and really embraced it without giving up the other parts of what makes her so valuable, the defense, the energy, the rebounding.
Wolf just scored inside a couple possessions ago. Nice defense by Myers inside on that one. (28-29) ball game. 12:15 left to play. All Ohio with the ball. Here comes Sierra Rice. One big to another. Can't get the first shot to go, but they're going to get another opportunity. Nice defense there by Flight. Tyder has it. Well, Tyder going to get called for the double dribble.
Coach Evans is saying, wait. That was deflected. No double dribble right there.
Strong take, but again, nice defense on the inside by Florida Flight as they get another block. Coming the other way. Ball's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Flight. Back over to All Ohio as we got Brandon Clay joining us on set here on ProspectsNation TV. Brandon, All Ohio, Florida Flight, Sierra Rice, Astasia Tyder. Your thoughts on the real deal in the Ville so far?
This is what they all been waiting on, ain't it? Well, people pay paper for, ain't it? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You got two packed baselines, two great teams full of college scholarship talent. It doesn't get any better than this, man. As you would say, Marcus, grab your popcorn, enjoy it, pull up a seat for the rest of the game.
Hey, can we insert that that picture of Terrell Owens with the popcorn in, you know, in the helmet?
We should put a picture of Terrell Owens running to the star and get knocked out. That's what we should put.
Splash there along the baseline by number 31 for All Ohio, Bexley Wallace.
Speaking of stars, that's one in the making right there. Wallace is absolutely phenomenal. Great kid, too. I had a chance to talk with her yesterday before she got rolling, man. The sky's the limit for that youngster.
Now, Brandon, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I went on a tirade of just how impressed I was with her defensive ability. Yep. She was able to match Tyder dribble for dribble. Ended up getting called for the foul. But how many 2018 6'3" forwards do you know in the country that can match Tyder like that in a defensive possession?
Not many. Well, this is one of those things you feel like you're getting the jump on some people. You know, Brandon Clay Scouting.com report on Wallace earlier this spring, letting some of those top programs in the country know about her, get re-familiar with her game. You know, John, you had the opportunity to see her earlier in the year, and she's living up to everything that we've said. She's grown and filled out, and like I said, a great kid on top of all of that. So I expect nothing but to see her continue to progress and be able to shoot that trail secondary three. I think that's the next thing for Wallace, that consistent 15-footer, nice touch, and all those things. She's awesome.
28-31 ball game, 10 minutes, 40 seconds and counting left to play here in the second half. Ahart gets it over to McIntyre. McIntyre with the spin and the finish.
That's a heck of a move, and that's a big boy basketball right there.
She's had a great day. It's really showed me a little bit more offensive prowess than even what we saw at the summer kickoff. A kid that I think that in a two-post system that could play, you know, either post position in that way, and I really like her at the elbow of being able to get downhill and finish with either hand too.
It's funny in a lot of ways, John, she's that kind of toss back, you know, high-low 4-5 kid. You know, high-low when high-low used to be the free throw line and not the trail secondary three like I mentioned with Wallace a minute ago.
Nice defense being played there by Moses, tries to save it. Unfortunately, Ahart can't hold on to it, but good defense by All Ohio. 28-33 ball game, 10-14 left to play. Advantage All Ohio, tighter to inbound.
You can't have those turnovers there. Those unforced ones will be the ones that you look back on and say, if we could just have that possession back. Unfortunate error right there.
The ball back over to All Ohio. They have a 5-point advantage. Ahart with it. Moses guarded by Font. Now Wallace trying to look inside, too short on the pass. Here comes Tyder for Flight.
Well, she's so powerful, y'all. Her ability to get downhill. I know she missed that shot, but her ability to get downhill is tough, man.
Good luck catching up with Sierra Rice on a fast break. She gets the deuce to go. 28-35 ball game, 7-point advantage for All Ohio.
Good footwork there. Couldn't get it to finish. Good defense, though, by McIntyre.
McIntyre getting rid of it, gets it to Wallace. Wallace unable to hit the shot. Again, nice defense by Moses. This time the save is successful. Stepping in and taking the charge right there, going to be number 15, Chelsea Johnson.
I like that call there by the official, even though the little Euro step there by Rice was supposed to evade that charge. You got to give credit to the defense there of getting her feet set and taking it.
No question. Her ability right there defensively just to know and get her feet set is so hard. We talked about this with Taya Cooper during summer kickoff, John. the ability to be quick enough both mentally and with your feet to get there, establish that position, and be able to draw that charge is special.
We've got a 28-35 ball game, 7-point advantage for All Ohio, 9 minutes and 22 seconds left to play here in this game. Henry, we talked about the advantage on the interior being in favor of All Ohio. Your thoughts on that impact on this 7-point deficit right now?
Well, we talked about at the very beginning, could Florida Flight and their experience at the guard play, you know, rattle the younger guards like Hooks and Ahart and some of the others? Give credit to, you know, kids like Rice and Wallace of being able to handle that pressure and really make this an interior game and allow their post players to definitely take advantage of that size on the inside. And I think that's the reason why you see a 7-point lead right now for All Ohio.
28-35. The floater in and out. Another rebound inside by Myers. She's going to get it to Hooks. So that was McIntyre with the rebound. McIntyre, a little bit of contact there. She plays through it and gets the bucket.
McIntyre is having a big day for Coach Bethea.
Bailey Wolf going to try a three-pointer. It's no good. Snatched away there by Betsy Wallace. Rice gets it to McIntyre. Now Hooks has it. Hooks guarded by Font. McIntyre has it up top, gets it over to Hooks.
That's nice.
CL Rice got a little turned around there, but she's got reinforcements in the form of Wallace who gets the bucket.
Nice little continuity set there by Coach Bethea. At the down screen, then the pin in, and Florida Flight having some confusion on these screens right here. They're switching a lot of screens, and in that particular instance, they ended up with 2 players on the perimeter and nobody on Rice, and that ends up leading to the 3-point play.
12-point advantage for All Ohio, but not for long as that three-pointer's knocked down by Jalen Harrison.
It's a big-time shot right there. Great pitch ahead by Font to put it in her hands, and then Harrison's recognition, hand down, man down.
The hustle's always there, Brandon, when you look at, you know, the July period as well as the PSB events, but the cleanliness of this game. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think when you get to this point in the summer, it's a great, great point to close out the first half. Kids are still fresh. You know, it's only 3 or 4 days in for most teams in terms of how many days that they played. And even with a team like All Ohio, they utilized practice time, you know, through the first 3 mornings of the live period, practice 8:30, and then again yesterday to start off real deal in the Ville at noon, having forfeits, they were able to practice all 3 days.
And yes, fellas, that was the first time cleanliness was used in a basketball broadcast. Bucket scored inside there by Zero. Randy Chandler, 33-42 ball game, 9-point advantage for All Ohio. Just under 7 minutes left to play in this one.
Oh, Chandler's giving them some good minutes. It gives them another option, especially somebody that can rebound the ball. But it's hard when they're knocking down shots like that, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it sure is. And these young guards for All Ohio have come up big. You know, we've talked about Ahart and her ability to handle the basketball and really control the game. You know, even though she hasn't scored a lot of points, it's just been her poise and composure that's been important against, you know, the pressure from the Flight. And then when you get a kid like Hooks that is so talented, athletic, when she starts hitting open shots like that, she's putting kids on skates like that, now they become a really dangerous team.
Nice one more there to the short corner from Rice to Wallace.
All Ohio really executing right now. 33-47.
That's a heck of a pass, Marcus. You know, to give up what is a solid shot with what we call the one more. You know, I saw that from Hemingway years ago at Duluth High School. You know, always trying to make the one more, getting the 3 or the 4 instead of the 2 in terms of the number system.
They've been able to answer back when they've needed to make sure things don't get too out of whack. Bailey Wolf with the bucket there to pull them back within 12, 35-47. There, Wallace going to be fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
What a great pass there by McIntyre. She's having herself a game. I think she's going to earn some money with this particular showing as you look at all the coaches along the back line right here. But a great diagonal pass. She's doing it on both ends of the floor. Defense, rebounding, scoring, off of the drive and now passing.
(35-49). After that trip to the free throw line for Wallace. 14-point advantage for All Ohio. 5:15 counting left to play.
Now take it back a possession with Wolf on that trail three-pointer in the secondary pocket. And that's the shot that I'm talking about, being able to see Wallace making over the next couple of years. The ability to be able to finish that. What a great play in the open floor.
Sierra Hook, she's really come to life. She's got 7 points just in the past 2 minutes.
I really like what you would call the bounce back ability here of All Ohio. Let's face it, they didn't get off to just a great start to the summer at the summer kickoff, losing their opening round or the semifinal game to the Pistols Mario, and really just didn't have that rhythm early on, and now they've been able to put multiple games back to back and having a great showing here.
Well, and I think when you start talking about playing with younger players, the youth movement per se, Sierra Rice, obviously the leader, but a lot of the names that we mentioned, the 2017s, 18, Bexley Wallace joining them for this tournament, you're starting to get the kind of continuity that you have when you get 6-7 games into the summer, being able to play, and the off-floor stuff as well. Being able to spend the night as a team, lock in, know what you're trying to do. Talked to Jay yesterday. After this game, they're actually going to go see a team movie. All those different kind of functions and features give you that continuity that a team like Florida Flight has established over the years.
36-51. 15-point advantage for All Ohio. 5 minutes, 25 seconds. And counting left to play. Still plenty of time for Florida Flight comeback. Going to be a foul on the screen set there by Wolf. I believe that might be her 5th. Sierra Rice has it for All Ohio. Hooks with it, looking inside for Rice. Here comes the double. Rice working hard to make sure that ball isn't taken away.
I like that, though. The ability to enter the basketball. I had a conversation yesterday with Vanderbilt head coach Melanie Balcom about what makes kids like Brianna Stewart so special. And it's their ability to score any way that you can enter it to them, whether it's the elbow, the low block, the short corner, the trail three, coming off the move. So anytime you can see guards be able to catch the ball in the post, be able to handle it, obviously the double came, so now you got to teach her to read the double, right, one thing at a time. But the ability for her to post up and catch the entry says a lot about where Sierra Rice's game is skill-wise.
Working inside there, getting it to go was Michaela Cobb, the West Virginia commit. Tied her up top, Florida Flight. Kicks it out to Harrison. She's got an affinity for the 3 ball. That one's just in and out, though.
You know you can shoot when you take that shot and your point guard stands up on the bench. She's ready to put 3 fingers in the air and celebrate it before the shot ever left Jalen Harrison's hand.
Turned around on the pass there is Rice, so Florida Flight's going to get it back. No damage done there, that possession. Checking back into the game is going to be Randy Chandler, number 0 for the Flight. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the ball game. 36-53 in favor of All Ohio. Tighter guarded by Moses. Tough shot. We'll go back over to All Ohio. Tigers had to see a good defender all game. She had Sierra Rice for the majority of the first half there. Moses has been no slouch on defense either.
And you get to this point of the game, you got a little bit of a deficit start forcing things a little bit. I can't fault her on that shot. She's got to make things happen, but she's had a good game up until this point, done it in a variety of ways. Unfortunately for the Flight at this point, all Ohio's post play, I think McIntyre's really been the difference at this point. You know, Wolf has done a good job on the interior to negate one post player, but the other post players come free.
No question. When you talk about Wallace's size and even Cobb a minute ago on the rebound to finish, they have a lot of options down there on the interior, and then Hooks obviously offensively has been able to give them some things as well as Rice. So they've just had it clicking on all cylinders.
Moses unable to knock down that second free throw. Still a 17-point advantage. That floater no good off the glass. Wallace with the rebound.
Her ball skill. You remember a minute ago she went hard left. Jeez. You know, created off the bounce that way as well.
Moses with the assist. Finished by Cobb.
That was a heck of a possession. I don't know if everybody has an appreciation for what just happened right there with Wallace. Good pass.
It was, wasn't it?
I mean, she was going to make the outlet pass, and it was going to get stolen if she tried to make it a lesser player or even a young player like her would have thrown it, got it deflected, but she was able to put it on the floor, make a pass that leads to another pass to a layup. That's high-level stuff.
High-level stuff is what we've seen plenty of here in this game. Unfortunately for Florida Flight, the advantage has been in favor of all Ohio for the majority of this second half. 3 minutes, 20 seconds and counting left to play here. Stop and pop there. The bank's open.
And it's been that way the second half. You know, just shots like that, things like that, the balls kind of bounce their way. I'm excited to watch this Flight team throughout the remainder of the week, though, John. You know, continue. They got another game today, playing our Real Deal in the Ville. Session 2 that starts tomorrow morning. Actually, we'll have an early game tomorrow morning playing first thing to get us tipped off before a couple of the other events in town get started. And Darren Evans just does a great job with this team.
Yeah, I agree, Brandon. You talk about guard play, and a lot of times in the game of basketball, especially in July, guard play wins out. Just so happens today they got an all-Ohio team that was clicking on all cylinders. So let's not sleep on this team for 1 minute.
We're going to have a fresh 5 subbing in for Florida Flight, as well as 3 substitutions for all Ohio. Randy Chandler at the free throw line for the Flight.
This is a great opportunity, you know, on a day like this for all of these young women. You know, you've got over 100 plus schools that have checked in to be a part of the event. Back baseline full both ways. All types of kids getting looks and scholarship offers coming off of this. Actually just had the opportunity to talk to a major school about Tighter just a second ago before I sat down on the broadcast. They'll be tracking her for the remainder of the week.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, Brandon. You know, good basketball, exposure, all under one roof too. Franklin, Tennessee, the heart of women's basketball. Right here in Middle Tennessee. Excited to be a part of it. It's just a blessing.
When you talk about Middle Tennessee being the, the heart of basketball, the capital of sorts here in the Southeast, some of the players that make that alias so.
Oh, you talk about some of the kids that have come through. I know I had the opportunity to come up here in March, and so did Marcus, for your showcase, man. CoachHemmy.com showcase. Great event. You know, you talk about Alexa Middleton, who's a McDonald's All-American, now is at Tennessee in summer school. You know, Emily Eubank stayed right here in town, went right down the street to play at Lipscomb with Greg Brown. Shelby Davenport's headed to Clemson. So, I mean, you've got a lineage of kids that are from right here in the area. And then Chastity Carter, who we'll see later on today, here on SUVtv with Team Tennessee from just down the street in Dixon County. So plenty of talent here in this area that lives here. And then fortunately, we're able to import pretty good kids from Ohio and Florida to come be on the broadcast as well, man.
Yeah, let's not forget Rachel Bell was at the CoachHemmy.com showcase.
Vanderbilt, I talked to Rachel Bell yesterday for a little bit. I think she's actually going to have an opportunity to come hang out with us here in the next couple of days.
That'll be big.
Hemmy, you mentioned you and Coach Watkins' discussion on the mid-range jumper.
I was here for that, for the record.
Rachel Bell, definitely some key words that'll come up when you talk about that mid-range, as well as Middleton.
See, this is what I'm saying now. Rachel Bell, great mid-range game.
Well, you know what's interesting, I think, to tag that even inside of this game, when you talk about kids, you know, like a Tighter, like a Hooks, you know, those are kids, even Sierra Rice for that matter, that at the next level, their ability to make shots inside the mid-range is only going to help continue to grow their game. So they could take some notes from Rachel Bell.
Hemi, I'm assuming from your conversation now, was Watkins, was he anti-mid-range?
I don't want to take this out of context in any way, but basically I think that we can all agree that contested jumpers, whether they're from the three-point range or from the mid-range, are bad shots. And I think that his point is that when you put it on the deck and you've got somebody on, you know, on your hip, that's a low percentage shot. So yes, he is a bit mid-range or anti-mid-range.
Great play there by Harrison. Goodness gracious, her speed, fellas, absolutely love. I haven't seen her play, you know, since April. She called me in a moment right there. I had to break the conversation up, man.
Now, she's had a great game. The lefty hitting the threes, and you talk about a kid like that is so versatile on the perimeter, plays on both ends of the floor. You can play her on the ball, off the ball, defend on the ball, off the ball, as you see her shoot the gap. She's having a big day today for sure.
Getting the rebound and drawing the foul there, number 23, Valencia Myers. That tandem of Myers and McIntyre have been a tough one to contend with for Florida Flight on the inside.
Man, you throw Bexley Wallace in there, and none of those kids are going anywhere. You know, I know we talked about this Memorial Day, John, and just what JB Bay has been able to do in terms of dealing with the waves. You know, you bring Kelsey Mitchell up, and then she leaves, and you go back, and you get another wave of quality players, and now you're growing those kids. His ability to do that, even back into the Jantel Lavender days, taking it back to 05 and 06 and some of those things. We had some great conversations about those kids. He just has done an excellent job, and it's one of the reasons why he's the premier program right now inside the state of Ohio.
You see Bailey Wolf showing off the versatility there, knocking down the three ball. 39-60 ball game as we approach the final 40 seconds or so of this one.
Well, when you talk about good programs, Brandon, you know, there are going to be good teams, you know, in flashes and then leave. And you talk about this Florida Flight team as well, too. They've got another, you know, young wave of kids coming up as well, too. So the ability to be good, you know, several people can be good for a year or two, but to be great like all Ohio is, you've got to do it, you know, over a long span.
Don't be good, my brothers, be great. At the free throw line, number 5, Nia Ahart.
Don't be surprised after this win if all Ohio and JB but they head out to eat steak.
Is that ball out of bounds off of Harrison? Ball back over to all Ohio.
I love you guys, for the record, man.
This performance definitely deserving of a steak dinner as we approach the final 5 seconds. All Ohio going to hold on to the victory. 39-60 over a very talented Florida Flight team.
Definitely puts them in a position now. I know that with the league play that Nike's got, they'll have an opportunity tomorrow, you know, to get back, and they got to win 3 games to put themselves in a position to be at Nike Nationals in Augusta. Fortunately, we're right down the street, so I have an opportunity to leave this game and be able to go watch them tomorrow night.
Well, that's going to do it. Appreciate you joining us here on ProspectsNation TV, and we'll catch you back here at 1:10 p.m. Thanks for joining us.